Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our three planetary conjunction of Moon, Mercury, and Saturn. And today we're going to be discussing what happens when Moon, Mercury, and Saturn are placed in your horoscope in the same house, in the same sign, which is known as a conjunction in astrology. And I'm going to pretend like this is a very close conjunction. They're all like within 5 degrees to 10 degrees, in distance. That's known as a tight conjunction. That's when you will feel what I will tell you here. If you have Saturn, because look, a zodiac sign is 30 degrees long. So if Saturn is at 1 degree, Mercury is at 10 degrees, then Moon is at 29 degrees, that's a very, very light conjunction. Okay, so we're going to pretend it's a very close conjunction, even though it may not be in your horoscope, and most of the time it isn't. Now, if you do not know if you have this conjunction, what degrees it's at, what house it's placed in, what sign it's placed in, all your other planetary placements, all the other detailed information for your astrological purposes, for that check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects at the Speed of Light, including all my consultation at this link here. So, 3 planetary conjunction, Moon, Mercury, and Saturn. What does it mean and what do they do? First of all, Moon. Moon is what? Moon is our happiness, our comfort. Moon represents our mother, our mind, how we think, how we perceive things, how we take in things, and how we process them. Then comes Mercury. Mercury is logic and analytical thinking. Mercury is our nervous system. Mercury is our ability to see things and judge it. Not like judging like Jupiter, but judging like, okay, how do I figure this thing out? Mind doesn't do that. Mind plays a backwards role in it, like a backstage role in it. Mercury is the one figuring things out. 2 + 2 = 4. Okay, that's Mercury. Mercury is communication. Mercury is your speech. Mercury is the way you communicate with the world. The way you write, the way you talk, the way you talk on the phone, the way you text is seen through the condition of the Mercury. Mercury is writing, marketing, PR. So if you're a good salesman, that means you have to have a good Mercury. Without good Mercury, you cannot be a good salesman. Remember that. Then comes Saturn. Saturn is what? Saturn is a very slow-moving planet. And so Saturn delays things. Saturn takes its time. Saturn likes the routine, repetitiveness of doing things, because Saturn represents those routine, repetitive machines. Like back in the days you saw in the movies, the newspaper printing out. That's Saturn. Those machines are a representation of Saturn, because Saturn is iron, coal, steel, and it is the routine, repetitive motion, the mechanical motion. Saturn is fear and anxiety, because Saturn is a dark, dreary, and cold planet. When you're in a dark, dreary, and cold place, what comes up? Fear. That's why Saturn represents fear. Saturn also represents reality, our practical world. Saturn is structure, discipline, organization. Saturn, if you use your Mercury right now in this conjunction, what is Saturn? With Moon, Mercury, and Saturn in this conjunction, Saturn is the biggest planet. And it's the second biggest planet in astrology, after Jupiter. But here, Saturn is a big gas giant against 2 Mercury and Moon. Like maybe this is Moon actually, so shows that these 2 are very small planets compared to this big giant. So in this conjunction, Saturn will have the biggest say. Saturn will influence these planets in a mundane level, but Saturn will get influenced by Moon and Mercury depending upon the houses they're controlling. So if, let's say, Moon or Mercury controls the 7th house of marriage, then in time period of Saturn, which is known as Mahadashas in Vedic astrology, Saturn can give you marriage in its major or sub period, because it's connected to the 7th lord, Mercury or Moon, as an example. Okay, I mean, your Mercury and Moon could be ruling the 5th house, 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house. So whatever things that they rule they're giving those qualities to Saturn. So what happens when these 3 planets are conjunct? The first thing you got to understand is that these people are very fearful to communicate. And they're always running things in their mind. Should I say it or not say it? Should I communicate this or not communicate this? Should I stand in public and talk about these things? What if they don't like me? What if they think I'm completely stupid? So that fear and anxiety comes into play. Like if you were to go into your speech class in college, as we all did, I mean, my goodness, I was sweating that I want to have to talk in front of the whole class about my speech. Oh man, I was like literally sweating. Those are the things can be seen, that fear of communication. Yet when you talk very little, but you talk very bluntly. You go straight to the point and you say it. But what happens, you expect the same in return. And that's where people might think you're a complete asshole. People might think you're a complete jackass. Because you're like, okay, just stop it, get to the point and tell me what this is. Some people want to conversate, they want to talk. So let's say your spouse has this conjunction and you are telling them a story. And before you get to the point, you take like 3-4 minutes to get to the point. They'll be like, okay, can you just tell me what happened? Can you just tell me what this is all about? And not waste my time with, your other subplots. And the other person will get mad. They'll feel offended. Like, oh my God, I'm just trying to talk to you, have a conversation with you. But these guys, their mind and the nervous system is working in such a slow capacity, or I should say more of a straightforward shortcut capacity, that they need the things now. They just want to get to the point. Saturn is like, what is the point? What is the reality of the situation? I'm not here to joke around. Saturn is not a comedian. Mercury is a comedian. Like all the comedians need to have strong Mercury to communicate and make people laugh. Saturn is just like, what's today? What's going on now? When's the meeting? What's the contract says? What's the bullet points? That's what Saturn is. But also Saturn represents long hours of communication with this conjunction. So a person can be a great novelist, but novel writing cannot happen in one day. Unless you're me, because I actually wrote my sci-fi book, KRSchannel, literally the first 80 pages within 3 days. You have no idea how strongly that idea came into me. And I just wrote it down on a paper. And then obviously I wrote a trilogy of it, which took me like a year or two. But the first book, the first main meat, I wrote in 3 days. But that's very rare. But this represents literally somebody who might be a PhD student writing a 30 page long paper, or this could be a novelist. Yet when they communicate, they're going to communicate slow. They're going to take their time to see what they should say, what they should not say. And they have the ability to do a 3-4 hours of, communication. Like if you have read US history, one of the congressmen had the longest filibuster of 42 hours. Filibuster meaning like you're not letting a certain bill pass by just talking. And they cannot stop you, even though now they have passed those laws where they can stop a filibuster. But that's what this does. A person can talk about all sorts of things. Yet when it comes to conversations, these people appreciate straightforwardness. If a conversation can be, or the point of the conversation can be communicated within the first 20 seconds, these people love it. And then you can keep going on and on and on, and they will enjoy the conversation. But if you're trying to tell them that I actually saw an alien in a wood where my car was broken down, but you're trying to tell them, look, that day was very, very, stressed. I was going from work, and then what happened is my car just broke down near these woods. And obviously my wife was calling me, and my wife was pregnant there. And these people are like, with this conjunction, get to the point. In their mind, they're doing this. They will never admit it to you. They're doing this. Get to the point. What the hell is the point of this conversation? Oh, you encountered an alien in the wood. Wow. How did that happen? And then you go to the story. These people will listen. But these people may come out as quite cold, dry, and dreary because of this conjunction. Because the mind, the speech, the communication, the patience is all becoming very impatient with this Saturn. Unless if this conversation is very, very logical, it's all about practicality, solving some problem, solving some mathematic problem, they don't care. You can take 3 hours. Like, let's say if Sunil, one of my brothers from another mother, a great astrologer, if he comes in and gives a 3-hour lecture on something, a person with this conjunction will love it and they'll just keep watching. Wow, logic, practicality, scientific evidence. I love it. Give me more. But if you're just doing hoo-la-la, this conjunction will kind of run you dry. Also, this shows that your mother was very disciplined of a person. Her mind worked kind of like yours, because we are a reflection of our parents. Whoever you spent more time with, you're going to take on their qualities. So because you had this conjunction, the mother was very disciplined with you, kind of harsh with you, and punished you when you did something wrong. If, let's say, your brother had Moon-Jupiter conjunction in the 4th house in Cancer, you would feel like, why my mother only comes after me and never comes after my mother? Because of the fact your brother probably has a different conjunction representing a different relationship with the mother. So never blame your mother for not giving you the love. It was your karma to receive that harsh love, to receive that tough love with this conjunction. Now, of course, if this conjunction is happening in the sign of Gemini, you would get a mother who would keep talking. You're driving back from school and she would talk about all sorts of things and do like 2 hours of talking, and you'll just be bored. If this conjunction happens in Capricorn, your mother would hardly say anything except the fact, what did you do in your class? Okay, you got an A, good. Did you finish your homework? Good. And then you'll be home by that time. So sign placement makes a difference. House placements makes a difference. If this conjunction occurs in the sign of Gemini in the ascendant, has a completely different outlook versus if this conjunction happens in Scorpio or Capricorn in the 8th house. I mean, you're looking at world of difference. World of difference. So whatever I'm saying in this conjunction, it should not be taken as a 100% thing, because this is only 25 to 50%. Rest of it, we have to see what houses these planets are ruling, what houses they're sitting in, what sign they're sitting in, what constellation they're sitting in, as in nakshatras in Vedic astrology. This is why it funnels the meaning of a certain planet down to the core. So guys, this was my analysis of Mercury, Moon, and Saturn conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And again, if you want to know what conjunctions you have, what they mean in your horoscope, what your other planetary placements are, all my books on astrology, my consultations, for that check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.